Okay, hello and welcome to a new series. Yes, it's very exciting. Um, if you hear my dog in the back room, I apologize. She's in the room with me and she's making noise. But, anyways, we are we're making a new series. So I have there's a path there, right? And that path is gonna be like a road that there's gonna be coach buses taking it, and that's how you get brought to the park. So you get brought in, and then you get delivered to the entrance. Now it's gonna make the staircase. I had the blueprint already made and stuff, but like I don't know. I just was like, to make that work, it'd be like such a small space for the building to be, and I want it to be a big building. And I'm like beyond excited, like happy with how it turned out in the end. Like it comes out amazing. Um, and I didn't really use much inspiration for this entire project or this entire thing. But this took me, this is a 25-minute time lapse, so that's sorry. I'm sorry. If you wanted me to make it shorter, it'd be 16 times the speed. And yeah, I don't really think that you would really want to go through all that. So um, that's why it is kind of like it's so um it's fast. It's why it's so long, because I can't make it any faster, and I already made it 8 times instead of 4. I usually do 4 times, but I made it 8 times faster because I spent like so long, and this is like a 25 minutes times 8 is like what, like how many minutes is that? I'm gonna figure this out. Uh, so it's 25 minutes and how many seconds? It's 8. It's 51 seconds. So like, and 5/6. So yeah, I'm just gonna say 25. Times 8 is it's 200 minutes and then like something else. So it's that's like 3 hours and like 20 minutes, and then plus the 51 times 8 would be like 51 times 8 is 408 seconds, which is like 5 minutes. So it's a very long. So it'll be a while to do, but let's see. So right now I'm adding like a kind of chain link fence. So I think I deleted the staircase at this point because I just wasn't really feeling it. I built it for another project, what I'm working on, kind of like just by myself instead of like on YouTube. And that one was supposed to be super detailed and stuff. And the entrance on that one looked good. It just doesn't look as good as this one does. Like this entrance is like the best entrance I've ever made. This is the best, most detailed zoo I've ever made. And I'm doing this new thing where I set a timer for myself, and I say you have to dedicate this much time into doing this one thing, right? So like, you'll see us build our first habitat. I said you to dedicate like 10 minutes to adding trees and rocks to the enclosure, and that's what I did. It spent like 20 minutes or 10 minutes on it, and it's a long time to spend 20 minutes on that. Like it is. So I was gonna use the things with the grid pieces, but of the vertical pieces, but it just didn't work as the way I wanted them to. So I got to use these. I'm so happy. It was like, I think it was a Euro pack update. They added a smaller like non-grid piece for every single wall piece. So no matter what you're like kind of building, you will have at least like one where you can yeah, you at least will have like one way you can add that wall piece without having to use the grid. That's good. I want them to do that with the roofs now, because I want to make like less steep roofs, but I can't, because like they have like the 1 meter, which is like a slope of like it's like a I don't even know, it goes up 1 meter for every 4 meters, so it's like a 1.25 slope. But like you're adding like so it's going up 1 meter, so every like it's 3 feet. So that's like, you can't see me right now, but like that's a lot of distance that you can cover with just like that much. So, but you can see we added kind of a chain link fence. You can see we added these weird, like, I don't know, those things. I think they have them into like JWE 2, or they were in. I think they've been into like Jurassic World. I think like I'm not gonna. If there's a spoiler here, so you might want to skip ahead. No, I won't spoil. I never mind. I won't spoil it. But like it was in one of the scenes. It shows a building like that. But now I'm making the door. So this door is right now it's pretty big. And that's because it's just doors in this game are pretty big. I gotta get an archer out for scale. And I also think I do use blueprints in this. So I do use Steam Workshop blueprints in this. I will try to give credit to who makes them. But yeah, just so you know, I do use blueprints. I use a zoom app, like a zoom app. I take it a little bit apart, and that one's by Feliday. I use plushies. And those ones I believe are by Keyboard Keeper. And she does an amazing job with those. And then I use what else do I use? I use I think it was just Goron's t-shirts. Sure. Yeah, so just Goran's t-shirt with prints, and they all look very, very good. This is gonna be completely unmodded. But anyways, I added the floor in, and now I'm adding. This is gonna be a gift shop. Oops, sorry. So, and this is gonna be the gift shop, and this is where I use these are the plushies. So, and those are just Goron's t-shirts. So they look amazing, and they're all like piece like that. I could never do something like that. Like, I mean, I think I'm an okay builder, but like I cannot go that detailed. And that's why I'm using blueprints, because there's no way I'd be able to make something that looks half that good. So these are the gift shop stands. I don't know, they look a little weird, but I kind of like them. They kind of look a little like modern and stuff. And I'm just adding like plushies to them. So it's the ostrich, mandrill, flamingo, cheetah, red panda, and stuff like that. I spent a little bit of time looking for like a folded t-shirt. See if we can find like a folded t-shirt. I had some stuff here I was gonna use, but like it all didn't really work with what I was going for, so I didn't end up using it, and instead I just kind of used the plushies, I believe. And then this is gonna be a staff center, and this is where I realized the ground is not like at ground level, and so I try and delete all of it, right? And then I click one wrong button, so then I just kind of delete it individually. So it's if I thought somewhere it was like right click and then delete it. And I'd never done that before, but that definitely seems like it could work. And if it does, I'd be like super. But so I'm trying to like lower this a bit, kind of as low as I could, but it's still like there was still a problem with it, because the actual like walls were actually underground when I built them. How I did that, I don't know, but they were. And so all of the walls are lower than the ground, and so all of the keeper stuff is lower than the ground, and so I had to raise that up to the ground level because otherwise it won't function. And that's why I have to add like another layer to the outside, and I end up adding another layer to the inside just to make it look a bit nicer. I hope you guys like interiors because this is the majority of this is just me building an interior. So essentially, right now I'm at 80 minutes in. So I've spent 80 minutes on this already. I know I love it. I love the way it turned out. And it took a lot longer than I expected. But like again, I love the way it turned out. So I am not complaining one bit. So now I realize, oh, I want to line everything with plaster. And so I ended up having to delete his t-shirt. And so yeah, so I had to delete his t-shirt just to kind of move it back. But now I plaster line everything. I was gonna go with this color, but like this color looks kind of boring, and I wanted to make it a little bit nicer. So we ended up changing it to white later. In fact, we ended up building a cafe, for it. And I'm working on a logo for the cafe, and I might be able to get I'm trying to get some menu things made. Either I'll make them or I'll find someone else who can help me make them, because I'm not really that good at making stuff. I'm okay at making stuff, but like I just don't find it very fun. So that's why. But it's gonna be very it's gonna be very modern, but like also kind of earthy and stuff like that. So I end up using what you use. So I'm just kind of making like this stuff look a bit nicer, adding like plaster lining everything, making it look a bit nicer. Because if it's not plaster lined, it's not gonna look very good. Now I have a centerpiece, so I want to fill up most of this space as possible because this is a huge space that I made, and I'm like, we gotta have it filled somehow. So I was gonna put like a tree in the middle. I am like, no, that's not what I'm looking for. So I'm like kind of go with bracken, and then I use these wolves to kind of like fill it out a bit, and I like that. That came out pretty well. Now we're gonna add some of the bathrooms. So I wanted to add some bathrooms. I thought it would make it look a bit nicer. My original plan was to keep the ceiling lower than the roof. So essentially the ceiling is lower than the roof. So this is the cafe. But keep the ceiling lower than the roof, so I wouldn't have to build like the whole way up. That's why you can see some of the metal clad wall behind the plaster, because I was planning on making the ceiling that height. But then I changed my mind, and you'll see what we actually put on. Now I'm making all this white because I felt the white looked better for the cafe, and it does. And so I was like, I want to make like a stand, and I ended up finding that this is an amazing wood. Like the back of it is amazing. Like I love the back of that. So I'm like, I gotta use that somehow. So then I ended up using the arbor, right? And I kind of ended up using it, and it like lines it with a bit level like plants and stuff. But I kind of just play that in as like theming, right? Like there's like a line of plants. Where you're gonna get your food, there's some plants, which I thought was pretty cool. And then I'm trying to figure out the wall decals. So I want to decorate the walls and stuff. But I didn't know what to put in. So I ended up first I put in some shop counters, because those are a new thing we can add. So like over here is kind of like a coffee station, like a coffee bar, and then like over here is like I put in like cupcakes. I want this to be kind of more like earthy, instead of being like a cheap like fast food like restaurant thing. Like no, it's gonna be like more healthy stuff, rather than like fries and chips and all that stuff. So putting cupcakes is nothing else better fit that. But anyway, I lined the back wall with that wood that I like, and then I put some vines on it, and adding to like the earthy aspect of it. These signs I like because they really do help sell the modern of it. and I end up adding some of the picnic tables. I end up adding some of them outside too. So there's 5 like tables you can go eat at. Some inside, some outside. I'm really going for modern. With with this whole thing. Now I'm gonna add some. I want to add some like plants, but I'll just shove them on my counter. So you put a crate, you put them in. I put some like fruit in that. I think it adds a little bit. I was gonna add some like drinks, but I decided against it because it just didn't fit what I wanted to. I was kind of going through. So I put those in, but didn't decide against it because again, it's supposed to be earthy, so like that. So now I end up adding some crates. They're not useful. They're just for theming. But like I think they look pretty good. And then I end up adding these billboards in. So this is gonna be the menu. So the menu is gonna be displayed on those those signs. And yeah, so I give pause because I'm like, what do I want to do next? I'm kind of deciding on I adding another decal in there, or like a plant wall. I think it really adds to the whole earthiness aspect. And then I'm like, let's just dye the entire wall white. So that's what I do, because it just looks better white. I don't know, I like it better white. And then I'm like, okay, what kind of roof should we add? Then I decide, hey, it'd be cool, a glass roof, because then I don't have to add any lighting. Yes, because I really didn't want to add lighting. I can add lighting, and I've done it before. If you Maple Park Zoo, that you may think has been abandoned, and it kind of has. I lost the file to the original, so I have to rebuild it. But I've rebuilt it better. That's why it's taking so long to come up with a new episode for that. So I apologize. I'm decorating the gift shop here. But in that I add lighting, and I really don't want to add lighting in this one because it's a pain, and there's sometimes weird like glitches with like the graphics, so it really doesn't look that great. But I decided, what, we'll just add the lighting. So that's what I do. And so now what I'm doing is I'm kind of raising the roof a bit, raising only the exterior walls, not the interior walls, because I think it adds to the the kind of the vibe of it. And then I end up adding like glass panels to kind of like fill this gap, because you wouldn't have that gap thing. Delete those. Do I fill those? Oh right, I put like a plant on top of them. Again, adding to the earthiness of it. I really want it to be like kind of nice. So now we kind of jump to like over here. This is me trying to make like an outside plaza. So you come out. I don't know if I like how like it's just kind of a big block, so I added like the outside kind of bits, and they kind of curve around and they end up meeting up. It worked really well, actually. I don't know how I got it to work that well, but it did. But yeah, so yeah, now I'm adding a wayfinding sign, and then I ended up adding a map, because I was like, I want to add a map, but I don't want to make my own sign for the map, so there's probably one in the workshop. So yeah, I'm making like the different exhibits: Asia, Australia, and Africa. So Old World's gonna be that way, New World's gonna be that way. So Old World is like Africa, Asia, and Australia. Well, I guess Australia isn't really Old World. You're probably be Europe, Africa, and Asia, but like I threw in Australia too, because that's on that side of the world. And then like New World is like North and South America. I add this in. It's crooked. I know. I'm sorry. I fix it later. And then now I ended up adding a fence, so I wanted to add a custom fence instead of adding like one of the prefabs. I feel like that works a little bit better. In terms of fences, this is gonna be something, I don't know what the title of this exhibit is gonna be, but it's gonna be like slated with pink. So this exhibit is gonna be kind of old. So when the zoo first started, right, the zoo's gonna have it's gonna have a bunch of new modern stuff, but it's gonna have hints to its older past. So one of those hints is the barrier, the chain link fence. That kind of looks pretty like not modern at all. So that one's kind of a hint to its older self. This one has been redone to make it look a little bit more modern, but it still has little bits that are kind of related to its older days. Because this zoo is supposed to have been open for a very long time, and so I wanted to kind of incorporate that into the theming of it. So this exhibit is kind of old, but that fence there has been there for a bunch of time, and they really don't want to kind of fix it. So the pool is going to be plaster lined, because that's like an older exhibit would do. So that's kind of what I added, and then I added some bushes in. These are bramble bushes, so they keep the animals in, out, and the animals are putting in here is going to be flamingos. So I really wanted to incorporate some pink stuff. So this is going to be I don't even know what I'm going to call it. I think I'm going to make this exhibit. So this exhibit is going to be a double exhibit, and the other side of that fence there is going to be peacock. So I think it's going to be the World of Color exhibit. And then each one's going to be geared to a different color. So like this one's pink. The other one's going to be kind of green and blue. The foliage is going to match the exhibit, which I think is going to look pretty cool. Again, this isn't, I'm not really going for 100% realism here. I'm going for like kind of modern architecture. I'm going for some realism here. Like I'm not like not going for realism here. But like it's definitely like a high budget zoo, we'll say. Well, that's the best way I can put it. It's definitely not a low budget zoo. It's like San Diego level. I don't end up adding any of the new wetlands pack animals in here. I wasn't really filling them for an entrance exhibit. Like I don't know. I would assume, like, especially this is in like, I forget where I exactly put this, but it's in like, I think it's in the East Coast, like maybe in Virginia or something. I know a lot of my zoos are East Coast. I know the I feel like I know it a little bit better, rather than West Coast. I live closer to the East Coast than West Coast. I've been to the East Coast more times than I have the West Coast, so, yeah, so I planted on that, and I feel like I kind of know the architecture here, so. Now, I'm adding, kind of more plants. It's not going to be all, like, pink, but it's going to be mostly pink. Different pinks, like there's going to be hydrangea, like all sorts of stuff. Pink. And also adding green grass. This was 10 minutes. All the foliage work was like 10 minutes. And then I added some small faux rocks, add a little bit of pebbles and stuff. And I feel like it comes out really good. I like it feels kind of overgrown. It feels like lived in, and I like that. Like kind of like both opposites, but whatever. It's gonna feel kind of overgrown, but also it's gonna feel like a kind of modern stuff. So I add some like hydrilla, like that. And yeah. So I'm adding a little bit more, rocks and stuff, and then my buzzer goes off that I can stop because I've done this so many times already. I'm like, I don't know what else. I'm looking for more pink stuff I can add. I end up adding more stuff to the back wall to make it look a bit better, and then I'm like, oh crap, that's crooked. So I end up just adding another one, and I'm like, well, that's really crooked. Let me adjust that so that I make it kind of straight, and then I kind of bring it back. So it looks a bit better. So this exhibit's gonna be peafowl, because I was like, I want to add another exhibit here. I want to add another exhibit here. But like, what do I add? And I add the signs again. And then I want to add like I want to add something here to make it look a bit nicer. And I'm like, what if I add a map? So try this one. And this one is like, yeah, it works, but it's huge. Like, it's absolutely giant. And I'm like, can I scale it a bit? But no, I couldn't scale it better. So I look for another one. Grab this one. And one doesn't fit the different sizes of billboards. Grab another one. That one was way too big. This one works a bit better. So this is the one I ended up using. This is, I forget who it's by, but I said it earlier in the video. And that's the one I ended up using. And they did an amazing job on it. But like, I wanted to make it kind of my own. And make my own map and put that own map in there. So that's what I ended up doing. And then I added kind of a mulch like bit here. I was gonna make that the centerpiece, but then I decided, you know what, a tree would look better as a centerpiece there. So I move this out of the way and then move that to the front. Feel like it looks a bit better. Add a few benches around it. Kind of make it look a bit nicer as well. I haven't done a time lapse of the voiceover in so long. and then I add some bins and stuff. Again, this is going to be again a high budget zoo. It's going to be a big zoo, one of the biggest, bigger zoos that you're trying to get to. Like, if you're a zoo goer in this like fictional universe thing, this is San Diego level, not San Diego level. It's hard to get to, but like this is a big. It's a big establishment, yeah. But I'm adding some trees, and that's about the end of the time lapse. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, definitely subscribe, because this series is continuing. I love this series. Yeah, I will definitely like and comment what's your favorite part if you liked it, and you're going to be able to see some cinematics of it. So I hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you guys in the next episode. See ya!